A Tale of Two Sisters. Sarah Flower Adams, the author of this well-loved hymn, was a woman of the arts. At an early age, she followed her dreams of being an actress and traveled from her home in Harlow, England, to the London stage, where she played the part of Lady Macbeth in Shakespearean productions. Plagued with delicate health, however, Sarah Flower found the rigors of theatrical life exhausting. She made a decision to channel her creative talents along literary lines. Returning home, she turned her efforts to composing poetry and prose as well as hymn texts for use by the Unitarian congregation, of which she was a member. Her sister Eliza was an accomplished musician and composed music for many of Sarah's verses. In 1834, at the age of 29, Sarah married John Bridges Adams, a prominent civil engineer and inventor. Together they established a lovely home in London where they entertained a wide circle of devoted friends. Despite her increased social obligations, Sarah continued to work with her sister composing hymns. Their pastor, the Reverend William Johnson Fox, recognizing the literary and musical gifts of the two talented sisters, enlisted their aid in compiling a new hymnal for his congregation. The project was nearing completion in 1841 when Reverend Fox lamented that he could not find a suitable hymn to use at the conclusion of a sermon he was preparing on the text found in Genesis 28:10 through 22. In this passage, Jacob is fleeing from his home. On his journey, he stops to spend the night in the desert. Using a stone for a pillow, he falls into a deep sleep, during which he has a vivid dream. In the dream, Jacob sees a stairway or ladder extending from earth to heaven, and with the angels of God descending and ascending upon it. Above the ladder, Jacob sees a vision of God. Waking from the dream, Jacob recommits his life to God and renames the place Bethel, which means house of God. As Reverend Fox spoke of the need to find a hymn to accompany his sermon on this text, Eliza encouraged her sister to compose a verse on the subject. Taking the challenge, Sarah sat down that day and read and reread the story of Jacob's dream. As she absorbed the details of the Bible passage, she transferred them into poetic form. When the 5 stanzas were completed, she had captured the essence of Jacob's dream in her hymn text. She had included the stony pillow in verse 2, the angelic stairway in verse 3, and the naming of the site as Bethel in verse 4. Eliza wrote a melody for her sister's words, and their new hymn was published in Reverend Fox's hymnal, Hymns and Anthems, in 1841. 3 years later, Nearer, My God, to Thee was first sung in the United States. Although it had a cordial reception, it did not really gain much popularity until the words were set to a new melody in 1856. This melody, by which we know the hymn today, was composed by Lowell Mason, a prolific writer of church and school music. Neither Sarah nor her sister Eliza lived to see the hymn gain worldwide acclaim, for within 5 years of its publication, both women became victims of tuberculosis. It's a fitting tribute to them both that the following 2 stories attest this beautiful hymn has been a comfort to men and women of faith for over 150 years. President of the United States William McKinley lay dying from an assassin's bullet in 1901 when he was heard by his family to whisper the chorus of this favorite hymn, Nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer to Thee. A few days later, at his funeral and memorial services around the country, congregations sang the hymn, remembering as they did their fallen leader. The second story occurred as the lifeboats pulled away from the sinking Titanic on the night of April 14th, 1912. Over 1,500 people, unable to enter lifeboats or obtain lifebelts, stood on the shuddering deck, facing death. As they did so, the ship's band played this hymn, and hundreds of voices rose over the roaring ocean, affirming what for them was deep reality. Nearer, my God, to Thee. Nearer to Thee. Nearer, my God, to Thee, nearer to Thee, e'en though it be thee. Still all my soul shall be nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer to thee. There let the way appear, steps unto heaven. All that thou sendest me in mercy give. Angels to beckon me nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer to thee. Then with my waking thoughts, bright with thy praise, out of my stony griefs, Bethel I'll raise. So by my woes to be nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee.